good evening slash afternoon slash morning slash whatever, everyone. Welcome back to the Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer tournament. We have got another singles matchup for you here today. We've got Sloaters going up against Cleanfel. This is round one of the Swiss. My name is Vulgen. I'm here to commentate today with a man who needs no introduction.
That's me. I'm Bob. Hi.
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 What's up?
Not much. I'm just here, ready to enjoy some sick Ori rando. We've got two awesome players. We've got Sloaters and Clean, as you said. This one should be really interesting, as neither of them have played any matches yet, singles or doubles, of course. But these two are very comparable in in their skill in playing Ori. If you look at the all skills leaderboard for this game, they're actually ranked 60 and 61 on the leaderboards back to back. 12-second difference in that category, so I'm hoping that with players of similar skill like this, we'll be up for some really awesome random.
I think that is very likely. Both Sloaters and Cleanfel, as you mentioned, very experienced players, and they're both pretty experienced at the rando, but they have different kind of ways of drawing upon that experience. Sloaters is actually not he doesn't spend that much time playing Ori, but what he does have is a ton of speedrunning experience in general, and also rando experience. I know that he plays the Link to the Past and Super Metroid combo randomizer. I've seen him featured in at least one of the speed gaming races of that a little bit recently. And he also helped organize the Super Metroid multi-category tournament because he runs many, many categories of that particular game. Cleanfel has actually attempted to run, wants to run every category of this game, Bob.
Why? That's so much.
That is a great question. Why?
That's insane. It's a goal at least, but holy crap.
Yeah, and we'll see if he ever does manage to get around to it, of course. We're not quite there yet, but we should be getting started momentarily as we swoop in to start the action here. Cleanfel getting going, and Slutter's just slightly off there, but that's all right. Not too much of a difference, but we'll be heading into the Sunken Glades, and we're going to get our first couple pickups. Bob, what do you think we're going to see as our first form of progression today?
I'm going to go with 2 keystones because I'm boring.
That's also very likely, and hey, look, it's Keystone.
There's one. On the other hand, getting Glide and Wind Restored would be interesting. Something different.
I think that's one of my favorites. There's a lot of different openings that you can get, of course. 2 keystones being very common just because there is a 2 keystone door off to the left side from the start of the game, and if you get through it, you get access to a ton of additional pickups just right off the bat with no more skills. But wall jump's pretty common, climb's pretty common, sometimes charge jump, and as you mentioned, sometimes wind and glide.
Yeah, I think also Bash Grenade is one of those ones that is way more common than it should be, because Bash Grenade seeds are such a pain to play.
Yeah, and it definitely varies a lot on your input method as well. Controller players have a lot more trouble with theirs too. But we do have our 2 keystones so far, Bob, so you were right on with that, and we are heading to the left here.
Yep, and as we're going along, we're going to see maybe we'll get some sort of explosion upgrade, a way to break the blue wall to get into the lower charge flame area, or maybe we'll just get a keystone from wall jump, something like that. A lot of options open right now.
Yeah, and runners will also be looking for other nice things like a map stone here along the way, so they can check the Glades map on their first visit. The quick fake flippers check coming from both runners. Sloaters unfortunately taking the death to the fish there. He wasn't quite far enough away, but he does get it on the second try, and they both find out it's 270 XP, which is a pretty substantial amount, but unfortunately they're not going to get to keep it.
Yeah, and that could hint to us that maybe Clean Water is pretty far down the path, which I know Clean, as his name would suggest, likes clean things, and Clean Water is no exception.
He did say that he was really hoping to get clean water in the seed. He would be very happy if he did. So we'll see, but it does look like it'll be pretty far along. And there's that next progression coming from the mapstone into the first monument. It is wall jump.
Yep. So with wall jump, that of course opens up most of the rest of Blades, the Spirit Cavern section of the tree, but also Blackroot Burrows. So we could start to see some divergence here.
Yeah, and we do see Clean continuing to the left here. He will check this pickup here, which is actually just freely available without any skills. Sloaters coming the same direction, even taking a damage boost from that Slime to get through more quickly. But then with wall jump in hand, Clean, you see him pushing the boulder. Same for Sloaters. They're going to climb up this upper area, and they're going to collect 3 more pickups up here as well.
Yep, and I'd say this is probably the best call you can make, doing things along the way. The first real major routing choice will come with either Spirit Caverns or Blackroot Burrows. And so hopefully we see some different things there.
They do have a ton of keystones to be able to, kind of make that choice. At 4 right now for Clean, I believe, and also for Sloaters. In fact, Sloaters seems like you might have 1 extra keystone from somewhere. So that's a little bit interesting. I'm not sure how that worked out exactly.
Yeah, that's odd.
Oh, okay, it's 2. Cleanfel already put his keys in the Spirit Cavern store. I just didn't even see that.
That makes a lot more sense.
You can see Clean's mouse movements there, circling all the keystones he's getting.
Of course, that's the first tree picked up, and we're 1/3 of the way to our first clue.
1/10 of the way through the set of 10 trees that we have to collect to be able to finish the seed. There's a hard requirement. That's a mode that we play on called Forest Trees. Pretty much everyone plays on that mode, and it just makes it so that you literally cannot go in the door to the final escape until you have collected all 10 of the skill tree locations.
Yep, so now we're seeing Clean going into Blackroot. Sloater is altering out. I'm not sure. It looks like... Yep, he's going left to the Spirit Caverns area, so we get our first divergence.
This will be interesting to see. So Clean's play, this Blackroot Burrows play, it's always going to be pretty slow. You have to basically do it no matter what at some point. So Clean is just saying, let me just go do it. I have wall jump. Whereas on Sloater's side, he's saying Spirit Caverns has 4 pickups, possibly 5 if he's able to get access to like bash or charge jump or something like that. So I might as well go there and see what I can farm up. But most likely Clean will get to Spirit Caverns before too long, and Sloaters for sure has to go to BRB before the end of the season.
Yep. And I would say, personally, I actually prefer Sloater's choice. There are some things that can speed Blackroot up a little bit, such as
that's
dash,
one of them.
or grenade or charge jump. Some things like that. So finding something there will speed up that process a little bit.
Yeah, that dash pickup coming exactly as you're talking about it. Incredibly fortuitous for Sloaters. He's going to be able to do a much faster Blackroot. I love that dodge of that projectile from the flower that he did going up that wall. That was beautiful.
And I'm actually happy to see Dash here. Dash is such a versatile skill, and it makes a lot of things in Randomizer doable.
Ooh. Well, he had the safety save, so that doesn't do that. But yeah, it does look like Sloater's plans to continue up into the Spirit Caverns. It also looks... Okay, he was reconsidering going for this keystone. I think he might not remember that it was 8 XP. It took me a moment to remember that, so... when you're in the moment, it can be even harder. But he does plan to continue up to the Hollow Grove area and probably get his Charge Flame Tree as well while he's up here.
Yeah, and I would expect that if he finds some way to break blue walls, then he'll probably continue the Spider Sack area. That would be my assumption. Blackroot, of course, is always there. But if he doesn't, then he has the whole Blackroot area, and of course the Boulder area afterwards is in Logic now because of Dash.
Yeah, that would be an interesting choice to see which one he's going to go for, because that Spider Sack area can be pretty time consuming, especially with only wall jump for your your vertical capability. If he had something like charge jump, it might not be as bad. We'll see. Clean right now, he's actually sequence breaking, he thinks. these crushers, but as it turns out, since dash is available, this is actually just totally illogic.
Yeah. So that's 2 trees down for Clean. He has very slight tree advantage. Of course, Sloaters will be grabbing one right here as well. But it looks like he's going to check this lower pickup, and I would assume from there he's going to sequence break into the boulder area, probably.
Yeah, with that exit and reload, that seems highly likely. Here he's setting up this lever glitch. We don't talk about this too much during Randomizer, but this lever glitch is basically just you save the game by some method, usually the rekindle ability, while you're holding that lever down, and then when you reload or die, the door is just opening permanently, and you just get to keep that forever. So Clean setting that up, and he collects Climb from the Raz You'll Know XP.
Climb, very useful if you get charge jump. Very not really useful otherwise most of the time.
It's slightly faster than wall jumping, but yeah, otherwise no.
I don't know if anybody actually ever prefers to climb over wall jumping with how awkwardly some of these walls are shaped.
Well, following up on the thing you mentioned earlier, Sloaters didn't end up getting any method to break blue walls, so he...
Well,
alright, there's charge jump.
Okay, so that's interesting now, because that also opens up lower black root and the grenade area with dash.
Yeah.
So this is a very unusual but interesting roading that the seed is sending you on.
And that's not in logic if Clean does opt to go that way. Climb and charge jump is only in the expert logic. It's the next difficulty up from standard, which is what we're playing on. But it's absolutely available. Instead, actually, Cleanfel is going to take the mega energy he got from the second Mapstone turn-in, and he's going to just go directly into Death Gauntlet. This is also a sequence break still, because they don't have any way to break the blue walls to get into the Grove area, or the Spider Sack area, that is.
Yeah.
Which I think means that there's gotta be something to break blue walls in the Valley entrance spot.
Well, Valley entrance is behind a blue wall as well.
Oh god, you're right.
So yeah. I believe there is the pickup next to wall jump tree, the pickup above the 4th health cell, and that might be it. The pickup on the tree next to the teleporter.
Those are all awful. Those all sound really awful.
There's not much here.
Yeah, so I think Clean sequence break is probably the best play to make in this situation. I bet Sloaters will probably try something similar with the Mega Energy. It just, like, the seed just set them up for this. So it's a pretty good play to just do that, rather than try to, you know, excruciatingly follow the logic perfectly.
It could also be that all of those one-off pickups are energy cells, and 4 energy is the correct way to go.
That is very possible. So we have Cleanfel rekindling to skip that little cutscene there with Gumo and collecting his 2 entire experience points. Don't spend it all in one place. While Sloaters is working on a cutscene skip for the Darkness Lifted cutscene. He's doing the all skills style. It's very common in Randomizer to see people skip it a little more aggressively, but Sloaters is doing it more in the style of all skills because he has dash, so actually there's not much to gain by not doing it this way.
Yeah. I usually do it the all skills method anyways, but that's just because I'm bad at this game.
Aren't we all?
And Water Vein is in Grove.
Interesting. So that Grove exploration is going to be pretty important pretty soon. We will now see, I guess, if Sloaters does... Ow. Well, he's going to drop into spikes first. But he does appear to be going for this ability cell, which is fine. The real question is he next going to go to the Raz You'll Know area?
I would assume so, with that death almost guaranteed. I'm just curious to see if he's going to go into the lower Blackroot area after this.
It would be very interesting to see him go ahead and head in there since he has dash, as you mentioned. he could just go straight to the grenade tree, and it would be out of sequence. But I mean, hey, if you can get a tree out of the way, that puts you closer to another one of your clues, and it's just, you know, a really nice, useful thing to just get out of the way. He does kill his Frankie here, which, you know, he doesn't yet know is totally okay, but now he's got charge jump, so now it's fine.
And on the right, we see Cleanfel just finished off mini boss. That is a very long sequence, and not something everybody opts to do, but I don't mind making that choice, especially early on when you're still looking for a lot of stuff. There could be something, even if it's not a skill, there could be something still useful there.
Yeah, I think personally I'm an advocate of if you have any like set of skills that makes it faster than just Spirit Flame, then go ahead and just do it. It is slow, but like it's so much better to not get destroyed by like one thing just being there.
Yeah. And it looks like Sloaters is going to opt to head into lower black root if the slime stops spotting him.
I like this play. Hopefully he'll throw down a save this time on the way in. Looks like he's being a little bit more conservative. He probably wants his save down here instead.
Frankie.
Okay, Frankie's.
No.
Alright, we're okay, right? We're okay. Okay, don't get hit by the baneling. Okay.
Please save. Please save. Okay, save.
Alright, well, Clean collects his third skill tree here at double jump, and he gets his Water Vein Grove clue, so we'll see where he's going to head now. With charge jump in hand earlier, he was able to check out the Frankie Walk XP as he headed into the Death Gauntlet. Now, Sloaters hasn't headed back from this area yet, so we'll see what he opts to do with charge jump in hand now.
And of course, having charge jump means that he can check those couple of one-offs that are along the way, as we mentioned. So we'll see if anything useful is in any of these.
Clean checking one of them, that the ability cell above the 4th health cell, and just getting an ability cell. He is not dipping down into the wall jump area, so he's not going to head down there and pick up that particular one-off that you mentioned that requires charge jump, but he is finally going to collect Dash in Spirit Caverns, and I assume we'll see him.
Grenade!
Oh, wow.
That's nice.
Well, there's your plant breaking, dude.
And so yeah, that's gonna open up most of the rest of the map for us, or right side at least. And also grenade areas, and Sloaters finds Warmth returned. Nice.
Did Sloaters collect grenade on the way up here?
He did not. I don't.
Oh, that's
so.
That's interesting.
He's going to be a little sad finding out. Okay, I think he realized when he's heading back.
Cleanfel is checking a couple of these pickups here in the valley entry area. He does check the ability cell and the plant, but does not make it up to the XP. I think it's possible with just climb and charge jump, but he doesn't opt to spend too much time on it. He doesn't want to, waste time if he doesn't know that something's definitely possible. So he's going to collect his Grove Teleporter, and Sloaters is heading back to the left, but not enough left. Given this trajectory, though, he might be on his way back to Spirit Caverns.
Yep, and one thing I do want to point out as well is that the plant above the dash tree is now available too. Everyone's favorite.
Oh, Bob. Bob, no.
I like that plant. It's a good plant.
We've been seeing a ton of ability cells, and Sloaters has been taking advantage. He has already leveled up. In addition to Magnet, he's leveled up all the way to Charge Dash, which, of course, since they have Dash, is incredibly helpful. And he has also gotten 2 abilities in the red tree for a little more efficient attacking, which can be very, very nice when you don't not familiar with all the ways to dodge every single slime shot that exists. Just kill him.
Yeah. So it's interesting seeing where they've been already, because with this grenade pickup, Clean was able to check left side and check that plant on his way through the area, whereas Sloaters wasn't able to. But then again, Clean also went through all of Grotto without checking any of the plant pickups, and when Sloaters goes through on his way, he'll be able to check those his first time through. So the time difference might be pretty much the same between their two routes. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, we'll see how this ends up playing out. Right now, they are even in skills other than that grenade difference. Sloater is actually skipping Spirit Caverns again, but he has Charge Dash now, so he has the ability to break blue things. It's just a pain because he also only has 1 energy. Clean, having already been down to Grotto, I believe he picked up 2 additional energy cells while he was down there. Clean also picks up the Gumon Seal, which is apparently also in Grove in the Spider Sack area.
Sunstone and Grove?
Heck, why not? Clean's also going to have the ability to check this grenade pickup and one other grenade pickup as well a little bit later on in Grove, whereas Sloaters will not have that capability until he makes his way back to Spare Caverns, and we'll see if that ends up lighting him. Oh, well, yep.
There's the water bean.
That's a big bite, man. So until
Sloaters,
he's got to get back to Spare Caverns. He's got to pick up that 1 ability cell, and I mean, you never know. Like, it's an experience thing, right? It could be that he doesn't even know it's there. Maybe he hasn't like gotten bitten by it in a randomizer seed yet, so he hasn't had to learn the hard lesson. Like, yeah, that thing's there. You have to get it every time or whatever.
Yeah, so hopefully he will recognize eventually that there's that pickup to pick up, but with the bull not having any energy dropped for them yet thing, this is just awful for Sloaters, having to go through these areas, not being able to make saves, having to stop and pick up energy along his way so that he can charge dash.
Well, he has the Gumon Seal now. Yay.
Yay.
Oh, wow. Well, that's at least a plant, and Sloaters has access to plants, so he'll be able to collect that before too long. Glide for Cleanfel coming from the plant in the, what we call the Kuro cutscene tree, basically.
This is just not looking that great, considering how many things have come out of plants or grenade pickups. Hopefully we find something that's not in one of those that might help Sloaters out. Charge Flame would be really handy for him at this point.
Yeah, just so he can spend less energy on things. Right now, you know, Charge Dash is going to cost him 1, and a Charge Flame, because he has the upgrade from the blue tree, it would only cost him half an energy. And if he got an Explosion Power upgrade, it would drop to 0, which would be incredible. But unfortunately, he has 1 energy, and he's got to burn it anytime he wants to do one of these things. But he is coming upon that plant now, and I think that's probably going to be his next check, so I think he'll be okay.
Yep. And I'm interested to see if Cleanfel is going to opt to dip into the Ginso tree as he's going by, or if he's going to pass by for now and check out the swamp area first.
Yeah, he's got lots of options with Charge Jump and all this movement at his disposal. He could just go straight on in. That save is way too far away for that rekindle skip he wants to do, unfortunately. So it's fine, he'll watch like a several second cutscene. It's not that big a deal, but you know, it's just one of those things that slightly tilts you.
So he's at least putting the key in. Makes sense. We'll see if he actually enters though. And he does. Ginso tree!
Sloater is short a mapstone for this map monument, and he's also short energy, again, to be able to break the plant in the iceless area there. Oh, that's a rough death. Again, it's exactly what you pointed out, Bob. He is very short on energy, just to even be able to save.
I'm wondering if at some point he'll think to go back and check things that he could have, or if he's just going to push through this, go the whole way through.
I mean, the good news is there's a light at the end of the tunnel. He will be able to, oh gosh, he will be able to get extra energy when he gets to Moon Grotto, but God, until then, it's just really rough. So second really tough death for him. Cleanfel is making fast work of the Gin Sentry. He's already about halfway through. He's on his, well, halfway through to the Bash Tree. And working on the redirect puzzle. But we'll see, this, this mini-boss for him, he doesn't have a lot of health. They are still on 4 and 3 health, respectively, Cleanfel and Sloaters are.
Thankfully, charge jump is very strong, and the mini boss is very weak. And so
Yeah,
charge jump
damage.
is super effective.
Oh, I see how it works. That wow, that's rude. So there's that explosion power upgrade we were talking about, and it's inside Ginso. If they had that in conjunction with Charge Flame, they would have free, very damaging Charge Flame. Oh, Cleanfel taking a death there. That one's not super bad, but it's not great. Oh boy. Whew. Well, an energy cell at least. And he'll be able to make it to the Bash Tree now.
So now my question is, if you're Cleanfel, what do you do here? Do you look for Bash and then go mode from there? Do you start rushing trees now and hope you find it along the way?
I think if I'm Clean at the level of like experience and comfort that I would expect he has, I'd say I really want double jump, like more than probably anything else in this scene. So I'm gonna try to kind of backtrack the logic a little bit and try to figure out like, okay, where was I expected to like find things? What was the expected order of progression? Try to figure it out from there. That's not really easy, but you just do your best and think about what's available and go from there. There's actually surprisingly little stuff that is in logic with without double jump, relatively speaking.
I would think Bash and Grenade would help with a lot of those.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Clean having
climb with charge jump means that Stomp is more or less a non-issue for all of those pickups. So Slitters can make it into Swamp. Hopefully find something new here, but this is an area we haven't seen.
Well, one nice thing that he did find was an energy cell, and that actually will be very nice for him. Clean is having a very enjoyable time here, trying to collect these keystones. He just wants to get these couple checks here, and just see what's in them. And he is going to get this last one. It's a health cell, which is actually incredibly nice for him right now. So Clean now at 5 health. Sloaters managed to pick up a health cell to get to 4. But God, that's still just a small amount of health. Even like an all skills runner would still want more than this.
Yeah. So it looks like Clean is finally going to make his play into lower Blackroot. And with Grenade, I'm wondering if he's going to go further down.
I would expect most likely not. Most runners are not going to go too deep into Blackroot. But I wouldn't be surprised, I guess, to see him check these couple pickups near the tree. And he does immediately seem to be heading to the right a little bit. Alright, just the one, looks like.
Now Sloaters heading back to Swamp. I was so hoping he was gonna make the check.
Yeah, that one's rough, Bob. I don't know what would lead him back towards Spirit Caverns at this point. It's really isolated now, to the extent where you really gotta wonder, when would you even think that it's reasonable to go there? And I'm just not even sure.
Yeah. I guess I hate to say it, but the most reasonable one would be when everything else has been exhausted and he knows that Grenade is necessary, but that is not something that I want to think about.
Not ideal, that's for sure. Cleanfel doing a grenade jump from the little XP spot to the right of the grenade tree. Sloaters accidentally turning on the lasers here. So Cleanfel gets his 6th tree and his 2nd clue, and unfortunately it turns out that the 2nd clue is for the Gumon seal, which they already have, so not going to be a very useful clue.
Yep. And now I like what Clean's doing now, checking those grenade pickups. You know that Stomp or Bash or Valley Teleporter or something has to be around here somewhere on the right side of the map.
Alright, Sloaters safely making it to the Grotto teleporter on the left side, and he now has 3 energy from having picked one up at the XP near the teleporter, so that's very, very helpful for him. He's going to check these pickups just below the teleporter, which I don't believe we have seen from Cleanfel. So there's a little bit of a new information. It's Napstone from that pickup, and then with Charge Jump, he can check the health cell, and that is Wind Restored, which is incredibly nice.
That is fantastic.
I mean, that will make the left side of the map just so much nicer, Bob.
Yeah, if they find the Valley Teleporter and don't find Stomp, then they can just float on up without the kill claim with Guro there. Which would be very handy.
Yeah, and we've seen from both runners that now Stomp is not going to be a problem for them, at least for entering Blackroot, which is kind of the most common place that it's really a a difficult problem. So that's good to see. They'll both be okay in that regard. Clean heading into Swamp. Sloaters doing some more farming. So Sloaters wants, he needs something. He's lacking something. That's what he knows. And so he's got to do some farming. He hasn't been able to do all of Grove, but of course we know that he will not be able to do the pickup in Grove that has the water vein because it is hard blocked on grenade. There is no getting around that.
Nice grenade jump from Clean to check that top pickup as well. I completely forgot that grenade jumps were.
Bob, you want to tell us? You want to tell us what a grenade jump is and what it does?
Sure. So a grenade jump requires 3 things: grenade, charge, jump, and climb. And the way it works is you climb onto a wall, and while hanging off of the wall, you charge your charge jump off the wall, and then throw a grenade, and the frame after that activate charge jump. And for whatever reason, that sends you flying off really far horizontally and or vertically, depending on where you've aimed your charge jump. And so it's useful in a lot of places, most notably in the final escape to skip a large section of the final cutscene, but also just for getting across large areas very quickly.
Yeah, and Cleanfel is making pretty good use of them in a number of cases here. We've already seen several different ones, including one just now here in Swamp, to just get out of the Stomp Tree area. Check this grenade-locked pickup there, which is another energy cell. So it's not even just the fact that the grenade access got him the water vein, but also having grenade keeps getting Clean these little bits of advantage that Sloaters is just not getting to take advantage of. Sloaters only on 4 energy still, and having to use a full energy every time he wants to break a plant or like blue wall, whereas Cleanfel can just throw grenades for free at it.
Yep. And it looks like Sloaters with this 4 energy here will actually be able to check something that Clean couldn't on his way through, which are the 2 pickups behind this door. Maybe we'll see something useful back there.
Yeah, in fact, I think Clean skipped this entire section on his first visit through. He checked some of the pickups, and then I believe he exited and reloaded his save in order to just save a little bit of backtracking time. So that's an interesting decision by Clean. We'll see whether or not it has any effect whatsoever. It might just do nothing.
Yeah, and Clean finds that wind restored as well. He's going to be happy about that.
So that's one potential advantage for Sloaters, unfortunately wiped out by Clean's diligence here and just making sure that he doesn't get randoed by anything. There you see again another instance of Clean exiting and reloading his file to just save a little bit of travel time. That's a pretty savvy move on his part. As long as the pickup that you get is, oh my god.
There it is.
But Clean is right on his tail. Oh, Clean's going towards the right, though.
Oh.
He's thinking about it. Oh, he ulted.
Oh my goodness. So this is potentially huge for Sloaters.
Oh, wow. Clean alt art and is going to Grove now. So, yeah, this is possibly the exact thing that Sloaters needed, where basically if he's able to hold on to this bash advantage, then that's going to give him a huge opportunity to basically, spend some of that advantage time farming grenade when he needs it, and then getting his water vein. Whereas, Clean is going to have to do some either slower strats or go hunt. What? Why? Are we in Forlorn? Is that?
We are in Forlorn. That
Oh,
is this
boy.
area. I don't know why we're in Forlorn, but we're in Forlorn.
I mean, it is in logic. They got charge jump. They got bash grenade theoretically.
This just doesn't look like much fun.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Forlorn is not.
Well, now he knows what it is.
I'm so glad about that grenade jump. That's hilarious. Yeah, 111 XP. Beautiful.
I mean, if something's here, then this is a huge play, but there is just such a small chance. And it's very time consuming to do this.
Yeah, especially now that we know that Bash is. Ooh, ouch. Okay, Clean had just thrown down a save, so that's not too bad. But yeah, like Bash is way back in Moon Grotto, so that's not really going to make. That's not going to show up here. There's no way for that to come into play. So could be double jump here or stomp.
Or Sunstone.
True. There's no clue for it yet, so who knows?
This is just such an interesting routing choice.
I'm vaguely perplexed. Let's put it that way. But Sloaters, he collects his 6th tree, so he is at 6 out of 10, and that means that he gets his 2nd clue. And as we know, the 2nd clue was for the Gumon seal, which he of course already has. This that could have come into play for Cleanfel as far as why he thought this would be a good play. He got the Forlorn teleporter and had the Gumon seal, and the Forlorn ruins can only enter logic when you have the key to the dungeon. They can't otherwise, even if you have the teleporter, just because we didn't want the teleporter to be able to show up inside the dungeon, because it would just be too stupid. So, so Cleanfel is maybe he took that knowledge and said, okay, well, I got both things. There's a chance that it's there, but unfortunately for him, that's just not the case.
So with Bash, Sloaters also has access to Horror Fields pickups. So that could be fun if he decides to go there.
Okay.
And of course, if Cleanfel is able to find Bash, then he will have access to the rest of Ginso, which is what my guess would be for the location itself.
So I'm going to take a shot in the dark as to what happened here, Bob, because thinking about it more, we saw Clean open up his map, and he moused around the area where Bash actually is, that lower grotto area with the redirect puzzle, which Sloaters did do. I'm guessing what happened is Cleanfel did part of that area, and then I believe he did an exit and reload to go back to the right. And I'm thinking what happened is he thought that he did all that stuff, like all of it, before his exit and reload. And as a result, he's mentally crossed it off his checklist. I think that's the only thing that's consistent with what we're seeing him do right now, which is lower Blackroot.
Yeah, and if that's the case, that is gonna be quite painful. Bash right now looks like it is the key to finding a lot more pickups up again, so it can get you through the left side of the map if you decide not to want to do or to get stomped. So we'll see.
So far, nothing turning up for him in lower Blackroot, unfortunately. He is doing a dumb grenade puzzle here. You can circumvent this entirely if you have charge jump and double jump, but unfortunately without that, you cannot. And it's just an ability cell vanilla. And wow, he is continuing down into Lost Grove. This is giving Sloaters a ton of time to possibly catch up. Sloaters did just check out the Valley entry area, Bob, but again, did not head to Spirit Caverns, and now he is going to Forlorn.
Did you see what Sloaters actually did in the Valley entry?
I saw a frog being used somewhere to do something.
Yeah, the Frankie died. So he brought the frog all the way over to break that breakable floor. I can't say I've seen that before.
I mean, it works. He demonstrated that it works, so there you go. So this position for Cleanfel is rough because one, this is hard to do without bash, but he'll find a way. He's got wall jump, hopefully. He's got climb and charge jump, and no, slipped off the wall, unfortunately. So he'll take another shot at it. But the second thing is he cannot do right now the long swim because he doesn't have enough HP, doesn't have ultra defense. I think he has enough points for it potentially, and he doesn't have clean water.
And he's struggling to do this part. This is very difficult if you don't have double jump or bash. So I'm kind of hoping that there's something of use here so that he's not just throwing away his time. Then again, if there is something of use here, maybe he won't go back to where bash is.
Yeah. Yeah. He doesn't have any other options there, so he's gonna peace out. He's gonna say whatever might be there, even if it might be useful, I can't get to it. Like not at all quickly. So he's gonna head somewhere else. And yeah, now's the moment where it's just like, is he going to remember those lower grotto pickups, or is he gonna find Stomp and then just be able to do the left side?
Where did Sloaters already just go?
I think he's in the stands. And momentarily, he will be dead. Yeah, there you go. That was a bad feel, man.
That was rude, the cutscene. Holy.
Yeah, it's very tempting to just like chain charge dash into that cutscene, and when you do that, you die. Guaranteed.
Alright, so Clean is making the first Horror Fields play. Although he doesn't... Does he have a way to break this?
Yeah, you're about to see some hilarious strats here. This is one of my favorite, like, silly rando strats. So he's gonna shoot this thing with Spirit Flame a whole bunch. And each time he does, it applies like an increasing, or an accumulating, I should say, like force onto the Baneling. And then when you activate the Baneling by going within range of him, it will all take effect at once. Clean, unfortunately, is not quite doing it right. What he keeps getting wrong here is he's going over the Baneling, and that's actually putting him in harm's way, when what he really wants to do is just shoot the thing a bunch of times, and then just activate it from the right side, just get slightly near it, and it will just fly in the opposite direction, like this.
Yeah.
But this is rough. Like, this does not come up very often, so, like, it is not common to know that this is exactly how this works.
And of course, this is also not in standard logic.
Very much not. I don't even know that this is in any logic, to be honest. Alright, so unfortunately he'll give up on that as well. Or maybe not even, unfortunately. It might be better that he does, if he isn't fully confident in the strat. Especially since it's out of logic. Like he knows there's got to be something that is in logic that he can get. Where is that? I see him teleporting to Grotto, Bob.
Here's hoping. This is really interesting, though, that we're in kind of this odd position of both players have forgotten that they didn't check one pickup. And they're both scrambling to do anything they can aside from those pickups. But it looks like Clean might have remembered. Nope, he's remembered this one.
Oh god, yeah, this thing is this is like an ability cell or some other garbage.
Must be ability cell.
Alright, so he reloads, again saving just a little bit of travel time. Sloaters is looking all over the map. Okay, here we go. Clean is heading down to the redirect area, so he's going to get bashed very shortly. Sloaters looking all over the map, and he's just trying to figure out where is the thing. And unfortunately for him, there is, like, the spot where the ability cell is dark, meaning that he hasn't been in it, he hasn't visited it. But he's not noticing that on the on his passover because it's so small.
Yeah, and that's part of the trouble with forgetting certain pickups, is that finding those very awkward one-offs in like hidden areas is very difficult to do with Nina.
One actually really good strat if you are totally lost is to throw a couple ability points into the purple tree. There's Bash for Cleanfel. He alt-Rs. He should be able to go to the left side of the map now. Throw a couple points into the purple tree, and you'll actually get some abilities that like show you where different pickups are on the map that you've missed.
Yep. Although that's one of those things that you can only do if you have enough ability points to throw at it.
You know, Bob, I'm gonna say something right now that I think Sloaters might not know. At the end of the escape in Forlorn Ruins, there's a plant. Now, because Alt-R exists, it is possible to soft lock yourself out of being able to get that plant. And therefore, that plant is not in logic. It is never expected for you to go get that plant. Previously to the tournament version of the randomizer, that plant contained 100 XP, so it just did not ever matter whether you got it or not. Now it contains a copy of Grenade. And I wonder if Sloaters knows that that is the case.
Really? I did not know that.
That is exactly why I say that, because it is not fully common knowledge.
Huh. Is there a story behind why it contains Grenade now?
Well, you know, it is actually for exactly this situation, Bob. So in this seed, there is a key, which is hard blocked by Grenade. There is no possibility for you to get that pickup without having the Grenade skill. You can't sequence break it. There's nothing clever that you can do with other skills. And as it happens, we know that Grenade is in a very well-known location. It's right there in Spirit Caverns. Both runners actually have had access to it for a very long time, and unfortunately, Sloaters just didn't realize that that was the case. But if it were in some significantly worse spot, the water vein would be hard blocked by having to scour the entire map for Grenade. So instead, the randomizer has placed one fixed pickup that is Grenade on this plan. That is to say, if you want to skip that blind search of the entire map, you can do that.
I like that. That's cool.
And that's the question, right? Is whether Sloaters knows that exists or not.
Of course, if he does what most people do, and he skips this win restored cutscene trigger thing, that's not a possibility anymore.
That's exactly what I'm worried about. If you Alt-R out of the wind escape, or if you do the save glitch on it, then yeah, you just lose the opportunity to get that.
Huh.
So, whew, that's a little bit tense. I'm gonna be kind of, clinching for a few moments here. That's a laser.
So Clean has now, during that whole time, Clean picked up Feather. He's at 8 out of 10 trees. Looks like he's opting for Sorrowcast, which is a smart choice, in my opinion. If I were him, I would just rush the tree and try to figure out where that sunstone is as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, he's at 8 trees. Once he gets this next one, which does appear to be the charge jump tree, is his plan. He will get that clue for the sunstone, guaranteed. So he will finally know where that is located, and we'll see. This Sorrow Pass will be very, very easy. He's got rocket jumps to be able to quickly navigate. He's got glide, so he can float on the wind currents, and There's the health cell for Sloaters off of the wind escape, and now is the moment of truth. Will he just complete the wind escape for Grenade and thereby gain access to his water vein? And even then, will it be enough?
It looks like he is.
All right, I really like this, Bob. I think this is a great, savvy play, showing some knowledge of the randomizer, which I'm legitimately surprised that he has, because we've obviously the feature that this exists was announced, but it's very, very easy to miss like announcements of just random like single changes in the randomizer, right?
Yeah. So Clean has his charge jump tree. He has his final clue. I was actually watching the wind escape because I never get to see the wind escape. I didn't see where it was.
Sounds like it was Misty from chat, potentially. There it is. There's Sloaters' grenade to pick up, and he's even going to go visit Kura's nest. He might not realize you can just Alt-R out of here. Again, this is a situation that almost never arrives. Ouch. That is a heck of a death for Cleanfel just there.
That feels bad, man. Oh boy, we get to watch my favorite cutscene.
I think he's gonna skip it. Lovely grenade jump across the Valley of the Wind by Cleanfel, and then yeah, he is now heading into Misty a little bit more safely. And yeah, he needs to grab this frog because the Misty does contain the Sunstone based on that play, and he's going to make sure he checks every pickup. Sloaters, we're going to see if he opts to do the cat and mouse chase sequence, but you can just Alt-R out of this. Maybe he left a pickup here earlier, I'm not sure. Oh god, ow.
We're getting to see all kinds of things that we almost never get to see. This is a treat. This is like 90% more lore than we get in anything else.
Oh, taking the death there, unfortunately. Standing outside the shadow of the logs a little bit too long and allowing Kura to spot him. Cleanfel is making good progress in Misty here, having some encounters with some spikes, but he's making a bunch of safety saves to make sure that he won't take another one of those costly deaths all the way back to the charge jump tree.
I like that Clean finally spent a ton of his infinity ability points. He was stockpiling those for a while.
I think no one's gonna top the 26 that Sinyadril accumulated in his last race. That was quite something.
You have to save up for the winter, you know?
That's definitely how that works, for sure. And now Sloaters is realizing that he actually can't continue any further up into the valley from here. So I think maybe what he was going for was he wanted to actually get into Valley using this as an access. And unfortunately, that is not possible without Stomp, and he doesn't have Stomp. Meanwhile, Clean does not find the Sunstone in the first half of Misty, so he's got to continue and probably feels really concerned right now as to whether he's ahead or behind. Fortunately for him, Grenade ruined Sloaters' life, but doesn't probably help with the nerves.
Yeah. Clean struggling with this part. This is not easy when you're used to having double jump. This whole game is not easy when you're used to having double jump.
That is the honest truth, dude. That's very real truth. Alright, we have Sloaters heading back. He is going directly to the water vein spot, so this is perfect for him. He'll finally get his key. I have to think that it's probably too late for him to be able to catch up here, as Clean just needs to do the things that get him the Sunstone. It's just a linear path for him. But, you know, it's still good to see Sloaters being able to... Yep, there it is. There's the Sunstone for Clean, so he is in, as you can call it, go mode now.
One thing that's interesting here, though, is that they don't have Stomp, And they don't have Charge Flame, so they're gonna need to climb and charge jump all of the breakable things in Final Escape.
You can actually charge dash them as well, so
Oh, right.
we might see if Cleanfel does that. And I don't think he collected... Okay, I'm not 100% sure whether he did or not collect charge dash efficiency from Forlorn Ruins. If he did, that would certainly make things a fair bit easier. He won't have to worry about his energy count.
I believe he did.
Oh yeah, that sure looks like it. Yeah, you can... Ow, that's big. He might not have collected health efficiency, unfortunately.
He's got 8 of them. That's plenty.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he does have dirty water, but I'm guessing I wasn't looking when he burned all those energy cells or all those ability points you mentioned, but I'm guessing he learned Ultra Defense.
I would assume so.
All right, beautiful
So,
first try.
I'm interested to see how he feels at the end of this about not being able to pick up clean water.
I think he'll be okay just coming away with the win here. Barring a catastrophe for him, which just seems very unlikely given his play so far and the skills he has. He will be able to finish up before Sloaters has really much of a chance to do much of anything.
Yeah, this whole seed was just really unfortunate, missing one pickup for Sloaters, and that made all the difference for him.
Yeah, and that's a very common thing to happen to to newer rando runners, or like rando runners who haven't done like, I don't know, 800 seeds or whatever, like some people have. It's just very common to have one pickup that it just hasn't sufficiently ruined your life yet, so as a result you're not quite... Boy, that was a very close flip.
The health regen, holy.
Yep. He's fine though, dude.
My heart.
Totally fine.
I can't take this.
But yeah, I guarantee you that in no future time will Sloaters ever have a problem with that ability cell in Spirit Caverns again. He will always remember it.
I think that happens to pretty much everybody, where you get like 10 or 15 seeds where you just get destroyed by those one-off pickups, and then you never miss them ever again.
GG to Cleanfel. He manages his grenade jump on, I don't know, like the 17th or 32nd try. First try.
I think it was 4 or 3.
We'll call it first try.
Actually, maybe it was 2. 2, 1, 3, order of magnitude are the same thing.
Exactly, they're the same number.
Yeah.
Well, that does it for Clean. He crosses the finish line with a time of 55 minutes and 39 seconds. GG to him. He will go to 1-0 in the Swiss round. Sloaters gonna drop to 0-1, but he will have 4 more opportunities to claim his wins. And again, it's anybody with a record of over 500, 3-2 or better, will be advancing to the bracket. So he still has his opportunities to do so.
So now what I'm interested to see is if Sloaters will continue through the top of Ginso, and if Stomp is in here. There are still several skills that we never found.
Oh, Sloaters is lacking keystones here, so I think he's gonna go ahead and dupe.
Did he drop a save?
I don't know where it is. I would assume, yeah, he did
Okay.
drop it back here in the key dupe spot, so that's good. So he'll be able to get enough keystones to continue through here. He will later need keystones for the charge jump door, but we'll see how that works out, I guess.
And if he knows the key dupe there, that's also a much quicker and easier one to do.
Yeah. Looks like he's just going to key dupe more times, so he'll just get it out of the way right here.
So Vuludin, what did you think of this seed overall?
The seed was pretty interesting. You know, the progression at the beginning was not too bad, but the grenade position was a little awkward because of, you know, having to go through Spirit Caverns to get to the Charge Flame Tree in the first place, and then subsequently getting Charge Jump. Made it just kind of a little bit weird. And then, you know, the bash position was really also a little bit awkward, but I think worked out a lot better for Sloaters than it did for Clean. But otherwise, I thought the seed wasn't too bad. You never really like too much to see that, like, the last key shows up in, like, Misty, and you have to clear everything in the entire area. But otherwise, it was pretty okay, I thought. Oh, well, there's double
Hey,
jump.
there's one of them. Yeah, I think seeds like this are difficult to gauge as a viewer because it's so easy to just go through and check areas and then have to come back to those areas later and just miss one thing.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, you think, like, oh, yeah, like, that ability cell was so easily available. But the problem is that going all the way to Spirit Caverns is slow as heck. And in this seed, the progression was intended to be go to Spirit Caverns, get Dash, go to the Boulder area, get Charge Jump, come back to Spirit Caverns to get Grenade, so that you can then get your Water Vein. And, like, that's just a really rough progression as far as, you know, the specific areas that are involved. And as a result, you know, how likely it was that Sloaters got wrecked by it.
Yeah. So Sloaters is now going into the escape, but he also left behind one pickup on the left side. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think with double jump, he probably is just okay. He's like, I'm good, maybe. He might just be checking for Sunstone though. Ow, that's it. Ouchie. Did he hyperspeed out of that respawn there? What?
What is this game?
Athos in our truck is asking, is that possible? And my answer is, I don't know, you tell me.
So here's my question: is that faster?
Probably not. Probably don't want to die. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, Sloaters having completed the Ginstar escape, he will be stuck for just about 10 seconds here, staring at the sky and swamp, and then he'll make his way to the left side of the map. I think he's probably good to go. Meanwhile, we are joined by the victorious runner Cleanfel, who managed to finish up thanks to that you know, fortuitous early grenade find. Cleanfel, GG. Tell us a little bit about your routing for that seed and why the heck it included Forlorn.
Uh, okay, I can explain. So, initially I knew Dash was gonna be early on. Sadly, it wasn't Spirit Cavern, so I instantly thought, oh, Sloaters must have gone there first. But I got to a point where I got the Water Vein and Gumon Shields right there, and I was like, man, well, these dungeons must have some nice progression in them. So I did Ginzo right out of the way, and then at that point, I guess I made the mistake of going into Grotto early. It's such a weird thing when you have that mega energy and you're like, oh, it's like, should I do it? I decided to do it, and I was gonna quickly get the double jump tree and then get out of there, but then sadly that made me take a while to get bash. So at that point, I was just looking for either bash, stomp, just so I could do the Frankie, either do the Frankie lure or just go into left side because there were no teleporters anywhere.
Yeah, those were noticeably scarce. I do want to, about that bash, I want to ask specifically, there was a moment, like a fair bit before you actually went back for bash, where you were kind of like looking at your map and like mousing over a whole bunch of areas and trying to figure out like, where the heck am I supposed to be going right now? And at that moment was the time when you chose Forlorn, but I'm curious because during that, you moused over the lower grotto area. And so what I wanted to know was, did you remember that you had not checked those spots, or did you confuse yourself into thinking you had?
I knew that that was basically the last part of Grotto. I was going to go there eventually, but there's some interesting pickups. So you got Glide pretty early, and that made me think Corfield maybe. So I tried the bailing thing where you shoot it a bunch of times. All right, that didn't work out. So I abandoned that, and eventually, I just kind of did a whole like top to down clear of the right side, and just like went through my head, was there, and then obviously I ended up getting the left grotto. Sadly, it's near the bottom of right side. But I was able, eventually I did remember, and I went back and look at that, there it was.
That could have been a very scary bet because Sloaters ended up getting that significantly earlier than you. Unfortunately, the big difference for him was that he did not get Grenade in Spirit Caverns ever. In fact, he's still never been back to that ability cell. He claimed a Grenade from the Forlorn Escape. So,
what?
That was something.
that was really odd. Because I knew that Dash was nearby, so obviously I went to Spirit Caverns, found it, and then I found Grenade. Grenade just happened to be there too. So I don't know. In the end, maybe going to Black Root first before Spirit Caverns was a good call, because then you wouldn't miss Grenade. But yeah, definitely some really interesting pickups in interesting locations, and with the Gumon seal being right there, that kind of helped my instinctive, like, maybe I should head to Forlorn, you know, why not?
Alright, so my question for you is, what are your feelings on not picking up Clean Water?
I'm very sad, but after this is over, I'll go back, launch, I'll continue playing the seed, and I'll find that Clean Water.
Get yourself some bottled water and drink that while you find your clean water.
Dude, I have water right here. All right, here we go.
Perfect. Oh my goodness. So, of course, you're going to 1-0 thanks to your victory here. And of course, the 1-0 group has some very scary opponents in it. But, you know, overall, just what are your overall goals for this tournament? What would you like to be able to accomplish? And, you know, has that changed at all based on your performance today?
Well, I got a win, so that's a pretty good goal. I also, I wanted to try at least to have all of my seeds be under 1 hour, which is a pretty, some of them sometimes, with what we've seen, these seeds can get pretty crazy. And luckily I was able to survive this one, so the trend and streak will stay alive for now, and I'll see what I can do for next race.
Well, hopefully you can continue to clean house with all of your matches.
How do we even have you?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Cool. Bob, do you have any more meme questions for our victorious runner?
I like meme questions.
Unfortunately, I don't.
You're memed out?
All I had was that pun on the clean water.
Oh.
That's rough. It's alright, you'll come up with one for next time.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, I got one.
Okay.
What's your favorite geometric shape?
Let's see. I like an octagon. Pretty nice, symmetrical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
I was told to ask a meme question.
Oh my god, dude.
Ooh.
Wow, that's a brutal death. Just there for Sloaters. Wow.
Oh yeah, that's pretty far back. I'm glad Sloaters and I kind of had the same feel. Like we should, like we both went kind of low Lost Grove, because I mean, for a good part we were a little confused.
Yeah, this super's pretty rough. We're gonna go back, of course, and make sure that we follow along with Sloaters as he finishes up. Cleanfel, again, congratulations on the victory here today, and looking forward to seeing how you do in your upcoming matches as well.
Thank you very much. It's gonna be a fun few weeks, so I can't wait.
All right, so now as we fall back with Sloaters, he's done a whole bunch of farming. I guess he has to be looking for Stomp and just feels that he probably just doesn't know how to do the Frankie Bash strat, which Cleanfel did. So that's really rough. Like, I straight up have no idea where Stomp might be. I don't know about you, Bob.
So there are a few places. One of them, of course, Horror Fields, as possible. Um, I'm I honestly think that there was one pickup in Ginso Tree that he missed. That
Yeah, it's that
was
top room, right?
yeah, the top left one up by the spider to the left of the core. So that's a possibility if I was watching closely enough. But aside from that, there's really just that one pickup in Lower Blackroot that he unfortunately wasn't able to get. And aside from that, if he finds clean water, then then there are so many more.
Yep, that's a good point. For now, clean, that is to say, water pickups not in logic yet, but clean water could be around, and Sloaters did also find the second to last skill, Charge Flame.
Not the green pickup he wanted to see.
Not so much. Let's see, we got one more pickup here in Horror Fields, and then fortunately for Sloaters, he does not have Stomp, which means the left side is not in logic, which means that the Sunstone, which is in Misty, cannot be expected. So whatever he's looking for is not in Mount Horrors. So that's at least good.
I mean, he could find the Valley Teleporter.
Yeah, so he's looking around. He picked up the map markers ability. He's like, where's this thing? Where's the stuff, dude? And, you know, there's a number of pickups just kind of lying around that, like, oh, maybe it's here, maybe it's there. Oh, he never got the Boulder XP in the Res You'll Know area, but that can't be in Logic either because it requires Stomp.
I'm wondering if he might actually make his way back into Spirit Caverns and find that grenade pickup that he missed.
Boy, if he does that, he's going to feel real bad.
Oh, here's a question. Did either of them check the dashboard?
I don't remember seeing it. Oh, it looks like he hasn't checked the glide vault, as we call it, the area behind this 2-energy door. So it's going to take a dip in the water here. It's just an ability cell. I believe the thing at the top was also not anything to write home about. So,
Yeah.
Yep, sure is.
How many map pedestals has he put in? That's possible.
I see 3 on the tracker there. So, you know, assuming that our fine folks in the truck have been doing their best work, which they always do, that will be representative of the truth, which means that, you know, he's got a couple more to pick up. He's got, I believe, 3 mapstones in his inventory, Bob, but Clean did pick up all the way up through mapstone 5, so only number 6 could actually be something that that Sloaters would want.
Yeah, I'm struggling to think of other places that it could be as well.
Oh, it can't be in Lost Grove because Stomp is required to get down there. We know it's not. You see on his map as he's panning around, you see it's not the left Gumo hideout XP. That kind of sucks to get to because Cleanfel checked that. We think it can't be in any swimming. Now here's the problem. There is a Stomp pickup in the Death Gauntlet area, but Sloaters did not get it. That is actually, I believe, in logic by having the Frankie nearby stomp that ground.
I can tell you that I was watching at one point when Sloaters was first going through the Death Gauntlet, and he checked that pickup, saw that it was experience, and then died to preserve his health.
Got it. Okay, so he has checked it, and he knows there's no reason to go back. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, he does have Ultra Defense. He's got a lot of HP. He could just go for some very long swims in a couple places if he really... Oh, boy.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Oh,
And
yeah.
he sees it.
And he just stops in place because that is a bad feel.
That would be my reaction too.
And even worse, Bob, is not only is that just like a kick in the pants, like, oh my god, are you kidding me? I could have had this like a year ago. But also, it's not even the thing he needs, and there's like no pickups left.
I think he's going to start checking map altus now.
Yeah,
This is...
that makes a lot of sense.
Where on earth is Stomp? This is like the Where's Waldo for Ori skills.
Yeah, Sloaters is he's having a tough time figuring it out as well. He's typing in the SRL chat. I should have spent more points on map perks. Probably would have liked to have had like the ability markers and the health markers, so he would have a more comprehensive look. Oh, I do see some areas towards the swamp area where he can check, and that looks like what he's homing in on as well.
Yeah,
So
I don't believe the lower swamp entrance pickups were checked by Clean.
that
But
is my recollection as well.
I do know that the grenade pickup to the right of Ginso was. This is just bizarre.
Yeah, this is rough, and this is where you kind of you appreciate more and more the various sequence breaks that different players know how to do, and you realize why they learn how to do those things like so early in Randomizer. In something like Link to the Past Randomizer, it's a little bit less common for newer players to Sloaters, there's an XP in the ceiling. Man, and here's another one. He can charge flame this plant from below. It's just the health cell. I mean, that's not even in logic without Stomp anyway. To complete that thought, like, in Link to the Past, you can kind of just, as long as you have the items that are required for a given thing, you can get that thing. But in Ori and the Blind Forest, there's a lot of ways of circumventing requirements. And so here you see, because Sloaters doesn't know how to make use of the Frankie to get into the left side of the map without Stomp, this just costs him a million years. And I mean, it wouldn't always, obviously, but in this particular seed where Stomp is literally nowhere, question marks.
This is just one of those seeds where if you want to follow the logic, you're in for a wild ride.
It is also possible there's a couple locations that Sloaters isn't aware of. I think the Spirit Caverns ones was just an oversight. There is an ability cell in the top left of the Thornfelt Swamp area that he was just in a moment ago at the top of that wind current, and I don't know if he's checked it. I think the answer is no.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing either of our runners checking that.
We actually colloquially, in the last randomizer tournament, we called that the Stomp Cell because in 2 consecutive races, it was Stomp. Okay, he remembers this XP. But it's garbage.
I'm honestly leaning towards that one pickup at the top of Ginso.
Yeah, I mean, that is a very good possibility at this stage. Could also be... Actually, could be the Drain XP in Swamp. So if he continues to the right from here, there's an access to Swamp in which you can drain the water and then collect a pickup. No damage boosting needed. You can do it with Grenade and Charge Jump, which he does have, and I don't know that he knows that way into Swamp.
This is just insane, though. So many pickups checked, and no sign of Stomp yet.
So we're looking around the map. Sloaters is trying to figure it out. This is a rough spot. I do at this point. I want to make a quick programming note. We will be cutting the broadcast in just a few minutes, unfortunately, as Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise is coming up after this, I believe. So we will be getting out of your way for that. But we're just going to stick with Sloaters for another couple minutes and see if he can find where Stomp is. And, just give him as much of your energy as you possibly can. And then we'll also throw his stream link into the chat after that so that you can head over to his stream and cheer him on after the fact as well.
Alright, here's, it looks like he's checking the dash plant. This has been available for quite a while. It's just a keystone. So now my next question is, did either of our runners check the 4 energy door next to Spider's Eye area?
Yes, Sloaters actually did earlier. When he got back around there, he did have 4 energy at that point, so he was able to check. Boy, this is this is a conundrum. Whew.
This is a thing.
Maybe Stomp's just not there. I don't know. Maybe we found the rare randomizer bug. Probably not. But
yeah, right now it looks like our possibilities, our very, very few possibilities, are the pickup entering swamp under the water, the stomp cell pickup just before the Ginso tree, and the pickup at the top of the Ginso. And aside from that, there's nothing else that I would be able to think of that would be in logic and available to check at this time.
boy, if it is that one pickup in Ginso that super extra sucks. Like, Sloaters already got randoed once in this seed by forgetting or overlooking one single pickup. If that happens a second time, then that's just, ugh, come on. Feels the absolute worst, man.
Oh, he has found another pickup.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing Clean check this one, and it's just an ability cell, so doesn't matter if he did or didn't.
I don't even know what to say at this point. This is just every pickup. I feel like the randomizer is taking the stomp pickup and then putting it in one spot, and then it waits to see if Sloaters is checking that. And as soon as it's like, oh, he is, switch it somewhere else.
Yeah, as soon as he gets there, it's like, oh, no, just kidding. Oh my god, Sloater's finally able to check that plant. I think he actually checked it earlier in one of his several deaths that he took. But, well, there's that grenade-locked pickup to the right of the Ginso tree. He does have access to that.
I believe he checked that and then died
earlier.
afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That actually, that kind of thing can backfire in this specific situation where you can't keep track of every single thing that you've gotten, and because you've left some things on the map, they're kind of misleading you. I think, again, he's bypassing that cell to the top left of Ginso there, and that's unfortunate.
And our truck is bringing up a question, asking if he got the Ginso teleporter, and unfortunately, I believe the answer to that is no.
Oh, baby.
So getting back up to the top of Ginso would require going through the entirety of Ginso.
So here's the thing I just realized, Bob, as he collected his map number 5. Maps number 6, 7, 8, and 9 are all hard blocked. 6 is in Valley. 7 and 8 are... Oh, no, 6 is in Forlorn, actually. He could get to it.
Yes.
Okay, but unfortunately, we do now get word from the SRO race that Sloaters has opted to forfeit. He cannot figure out where Stomp is, and unfortunately is stuck without it. So that is completely respectable and okay. He did a valiant job trying to find it, and what is this seed, dude?
Yeah. This is the sort of seed where there's just so much that you've had to keep thinking about for the last almost hour and a half. And just being able to keep up for that long is something not everybody would be able to do. So huge GGs to Sloaters for keeping his head on straight, trying to figure out where it was. But in the end, I think this one we'll give to the randomizer.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you can say that you can point out accurately and fairly, like, Sloaters made some mistakes in this race. He did miss a pickup earlier on, like, that was on him, but it's effectively getting randoed because it's still like, humans are not perfect. You have to do a lot of randomizer seeds to be able to learn like all these locations so that you can just instantly pull them up. And seeing someone get, randoed by that live in front of us is really not that huge of a deal. It's pretty understandable.
Yeah.
Well, that is going to do it for our broadcast. He managed to get in before we had to cut off, happily, so we didn't have to drop out while he was still playing. But we've got some Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise coming up. My understanding is after this. As for us, Bob, it's been a pleasure joining you here for commentary today.
Likewise. And what do we have coming up later this weekend?
That is a great question. I can best answer that by saying we have a buttload of Ori Randomizer matches this weekend. You can check them at any time by going to speedgaming.org/Ori, and you will find the schedule for the Randomizer tournament. The next match is the Roos is Loose, also known as Roos SR, also known as Roos, also known as I can't think of another one, versus Cutie Roo tomorrow morning / afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's morning for me. So tune in for that. But for now, thank you so much to our truck, Athos and Richard. Thank you so much for Hydra for restreaming this match. And yeah, we're done.
Thank you to
Bye.
all of you for hanging out and cheering us on.
Enjoy Final Fantasy IV.
Bye, guys.